Okay, very good. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We're here again at Way Mountain Temple to continue studying Master Shenhua's Chanchi instructions. Thank you all for joining us. We are in the midst of discussing the teaching of Master Shenhua about the Buddha Dharmas in the world. So that's the continuation from last night's talk. All right. All right. So he says the Buddha Dharma. He goes over the verses from Master Huineng, the sixth patriarch, who says the Buddha Dharmas is in the world. So this is where I agree with both the sixth patriarch and Master Shenhua. Okay, meaning that at first, the first reaction I have is that when you say you must wade, first learn to wade into the world, I have to think about it, and I must agree that it's easier for you to first wade into the world. And then once you understand the world, then you can cultivate, okay? Once you become a love-formed person, then it's much more difficult for you to appreciate the worldly dharmas. You're no longer the same kind of person. Your priorities are different, your value systems are different. Therefore, you're much better off having some experience in life first, okay? Meaning for us, for me personally, I prefer my monks and nuns to have some work experience first, so that they understand real life, they understand the real struggles of what you are going through out there, okay? And so that's what we encourage our people to do. If they consider eventually becoming a monk or nun down the road, don't underestimate the importance of having a full life first. You cannot connect with people unless you understand what life is about, okay? And what is the weight into the world? Weight in the world, 入世, is it is a rather difficult thing to do. Okay, first of all, you need to learn the ways of the world, and then you need to learn to recognize how to not be a victim to your afflictions, okay? Because you allow yourself to become a victim to your own afflictions, you will get lost. You will spin out of control. You will get out of orbit. There's no way you can stick around the Buddha Dharma anymore. So it's rather delicate thing, okay? So you have to understand the priorities. The priorities is to live, experience life, but not get overwhelmed by it, not get sucked into it and become a victim. This is what worldly people in the world don't realize. They're ill-prepared for life because that's all they know. That's all their parents know. Their parents are victims of life. Their professors and teachers are victims of life. Even their unenlightened spiritual teachers are also victims of life, and that yet they don't realize it, and therefore it's a rather dangerous thing to do. Trust me. Okay? It's very difficult. And so I often hear this from lay people, that they appreciate coming to the temple even on weekend or accessing the YouTube, which is, anyone would like to say anything about subscription? I'm kidding. Go ahead. Later or now? Okay. The point here is that people have an overwhelming majority of the people expressed the importance of their getting some insights or instructions from us on how to cope with their daily challenges. Okay, you learn, you open your wisdom by learning how to solve your problems. You run away from problems, you never learn. Okay, so life is difficult, but it actually is a great opportunity for you to learn and grow. The more difficult, the faster you learn. Okay, and so people, after a while, after they started doing chant and learning a little bit, and then they get into samadhis and they experience the bliss that they can get every day through their chant practice, which we recommend, then they realize that it's an anchor they can go back to every single day, okay? And that they can have access to us for problems that are overwhelming for them. Because that's the nature of life. We're all overwhelmed. You are, I am as well. Difference is that I can recover. You don't know how. Some of your problems are so big, you can't recover. Okay? And so the role of the sangha is that you need to be stronger than lay people so that you're not overwhelmed by their problems as well. Okay? And so you see the synergy between the two groups of cultivators. The sangha has to be stronger, and they have to detach from worldly pursuits. And the disciples have to come to the temple, so that it's a combination where the sangha gets updated from the lay disciples, and lay disciples get insights on how to cope with their challenges, their obstructions, their issues. All right? So it's a combination that works very well. Okay? So even after we become a left-form person, we cannot say that I'm detached from you. I am going to be a pure cultivator. Then you can't learn either. You become a better sangha by learning how to help the lay people. Okay? And so far, I'm really against having sanghas get a job, either out there or even at the temple. It's wrong. Even at the temple, I would not pay my sanghas. I don't care. Okay? If I need some professional things, professional help, I would get help. Okay, pay for it. But even if my sangha is better qualified, I would never pay them, because the mix of monetary remuneration and spiritual pursuit, that doesn't work for me. It's very difficult for you to separate the two. Okay? Because the sangha's life is geared towards no longer, this is our philosophy, my philosophy, no longer trying to advance your personal interests. So to me, getting a job to make money is to advance your own interests. That's why fundamentally I'm against it, that's all. So in our disciples, our sanghas, I want to make sure that I can provide for them, okay, in their lifetimes. That's my commitment to them, so that they don't have to worry about making money, making ends meet. All right? Don't have to worry about themselves. Right? Once you understand the worldly Dharma, you can turn it around, and with just a twist, it becomes Transcendental Dharma. This is referring to some people who have wisdom already. The people who are enlightened, they can look at the problems, okay, they can recognize, they've been trained to handle challenges and difficulties, and therefore their training come into play, and they can use them to turn the worldly challenges and difficulties into something beneficial for them. So that's why these worldly obstructions, difficulties actually are part of the transcendental practices. That's the beauty of it. So that's why you have two ladders. One ladder is you stay in the cities like we do, and then you engage. And our objective is first make sure you have wisdom, okay, so that you can handle the worldly problems, okay. That's priority number one, okay. So we limit your exposure until you're able to be able to handle it more and more and more, okay. So it's actually controlled exposure, okay. Whereas on the other option is more Hinayana style, where you get away from the world completely and hide, okay? Actually between the two approaches, the one in the city that I choose to do is much faster for you, okay? For example, my master, he chose to isolate his disciples behind the four walls, and you notice the difference in results. Our style is much faster, because the more problems you have, the quicker, the faster I can teach you. Well, let's face it, if I can't help you, then you die. Tough luck. There's always that risk. But if I can't help you, then you can grow a lot faster, okay? Not 100% guarantee.
Oh, well.
Hey, the Koreans are not laughing. The Americans like it. Okay, yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. We have a comment, a question actually, from Stefan Wonkmuller. Hello, Master. In the Chan Handbook, you share the mantra Zidandobo Dala from the Shurangama mantra with us. Can we recite it anywhere? Thank you.
You want to recite it in a familiar place, like your own home, preferably. And this Shurangama mantra is not to be recited everywhere. You're supposed to pick and choose very carefully, because it's rather offensive of a dharma. It offends the demons and the ghosts. And therefore, if we hang out places where they outnumber us, it's not wise. So be careful, okay? Like when you do chant at our environment, it's okay. Yeah. Yes, JMT.
자비하신 말씀에 너무나도 감사드립니다. 저는 어저께 이어서 저도 능엄주 수행을 하는 사람으로서 그 능엄주 전체를 외워서 전체를 항상 하는 쪽인데 저희 노스님과 은사스님께서 능엄주로 화두를 들라고 하셨습니다. 능엄주 한독을 하는 동안에 한 번이라도 망상을 하지 않고 오로지 능엄주만 할 수 있는 그런 걸 해서 삼매에 드는 그런 수행을 권하셨습니다. 그런데 일부 사람들이 제가 그런 수행을 한다고 하니 틀렸다고, 그거는 아니다고 그렇게 많이들 말을 해서 아직 초보자로서 많이 흔들리고 있습니다. 자비하신 말씀 부탁드립니다.
Thank you for your kind and compassionate words. I want to say that practicing, I do practice Shurangama mantra too, and I recite the whole Shurangama mantra. And my master said you should do Hwado, Shurangama mantra as Hwado. And my master said while you do reciting Shurangama mantra, you don't have a false thought and try to go into a samadhi. And when people listen to my cultivation style, people said that this style is wrong. So I'm a little confused as a starting cultivator. So I ask for your wisdom. Thank you.
Okay, Master Z, you take it. Because I don't want to criticize her teacher. Master Z, go ahead and take it. So I'm correcting Master Z, okay? I'm not correcting your master.
Yes. Yes, Master, thank you for the chance.
I'm a chicken.
Reciting Surangama mantra and focus it on that, it's a good thing to do. I don't see anything wrong with that.
But she
Especially
also,
at her place, her workplace.
she's also taught to practice Hwado and with both together. So it's like Chan and secret school together. She's the one who asked us a few nights ago, that why do you allow your students to practice so many Dharma doors? She only maxes out at 2. Hello.
I think she can continue to practice Hwado and Surangama mantra at the same time, but better under the instruction of someone who has this experience about the practice instead of doing that alone.
Okay, and the question she has is that the instruction she has is that all those are names. It's like practice this mantra, practice this method, okay? That's like, you can pick it up from anywhere. You don't need anyone to tell you that, okay? So when you listen to the instructions, you listen to not the kinds of, let's say, names of the method you use, but I listen to what you do in order to get there, or what you do when you have a problem. Am I making sense to you, Master Z? You have to learn to listen to instructions. Compare that to, for example, what I taught you. Don't tell them what I taught you, but compare to what I taught you. It's very specific. So, for example, her instructions are, do Hwado, I want you to do Hwado, and then recite Shurangama mantra as well. And that's Master, what's his name? The famous one in Korea, Sungcho. Sunim, he's a fourth ground Bodhisattva, and he advocated, he did a great contributions to the Korean Buddhism. He helped really establish a very strong foundation for it, a system for it, and support for it. It's fantastic. And he advocated teaching the Hwado and the Shurangama mantra, I think. Okay, so the question they have is that she has is that I practice the Hwado and then I also do the Shurangama mantra. And if you need to recite Shurangama mantra until you become single-minded. Okay, when you listen to that, okay, you're a lay person or you're a teacher, you should say, how do I become single-minded? The instruction is correct. That's from a book. And any book in Mahayana, you're going to have that. Okay? So The instruction is that it assumes that you cannot become single-minded. So you keep on reciting and reciting and reciting, okay, and you become single-minded. And our people, you are taught to ask me right away, how do I become single-minded? Have anyone become single-minded before me? Before you gave me such instructions? This is very American. These Americans are very insolent. They look at results. You can talk all you want, but would that work for me? That's all they care about. The Koreans are different. They're very respectful. Okay, the Asians in general are more respectful. And her generation, she belongs to our generation, so they're a lot more respectful than the next generation in America. Okay, so her question is, someone said it's wrong. The instructions are wrong. You agree?
The instruction doing both at the same time, as I said before, we can do both, but it needs to be under the instruction of someone who has experience practicing both the Dharma door. Because during the process, you will need to ask more detailed questions. During the practice, it's not just that very general instruction.
That's correct. So the question should be, have you accomplished the Huato? Have you accomplished the Rangama mantra? Yes? That's what the Americans would ask. Implicitly. They will look for that. Yes?
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
I think she's actually saying, her master said, take Shurangama mantra as a Hwado, not two things at the same time.
Is that what the translation was? I'm sorry.
So,
The Shurangama mantra is not a Hwato. That's wrong. There's two different Dharma doors. Shurangama mantra is a tantric Dharma when you recite and recite. The Hwato is totally different. The Hwato, you don't recite. Is that clear? I haven't taught you that much about Hwato because I happen not to like it that much. Okay? Because I find it too slow, too limited. And because I look at all the Chinese and Korean cultivators who use Hwato became enlightened, I found them to be too slow. For example, Master Xu it's too slow. Master Shenoa, for example, doesn't even use Hwato, and I'm more along that line. Our Weiyang lineage, we don't think much of the Hwato, unfortunately, because our patriarchs, the older ones, not the current one, realize the Hwato is too slow, and I agree. Okay, so since this is a technical question, let me point out to all of you, especially abbots, you have to recognize the Hwato process. It would teach you a little bit later, so that you begin not to be impressed by the Koreans at all. Okay, in their instructions for Hwato, I would teach you. Okay, just abbots. Okay, I don't like to teach you Hwato; it's too slow. But I would teach you abbots because I want you to be able to recognize what they're practicing that could be improved, but you don't say anything. None of our business. Okay? Because if they practice in their temples, it's okay. It's their temples and their system, they should practice it. But our system and our environment, we find it too slow. It's just not that good. Okay? It's just my personal opinion, my personal preference. Okay? All right. So the general answer is Hua-to is Hua-to. Shranga mantra is not a Hua-to. That's two. You cannot combine them at all. The nature of the mantra recitation is different, totally different. It's not even anywhere near. It's totally different from the Hua-to. Okay? So you choose one. You don't want to choose both of them. They cannot be combined. All right. Any other questions? See, that's how you learn. You have to pay attention. I'm training you to learn how to handle these because we welcome such questions, and you abbots need to learn to recognize these Dharma doors, more of these Dharma doors, and eventually you understand why we don't do them. Eventually. Yes. Anything else? Lots of questions. Okay, DTT.
마스터, 좀 전에 JEMP에서 질문하신 스님께서 추가 질문이 있으신 것 같아서 그분 하시고 제가 말씀하시는 게 순서상 맞는 것 같습니다. 죄송합니다.
I'm sorry, Master. I think Snim in JMT has a related question, so I will ask later.
It's okay, let her wait.
네, 저는 음주 전체를 다 외워서 매일 그걸 하는데 전체를 해야 되는지 단락단락으로 끊어서 어느 한 부분만을 해야 되는지 알고 싶습니다.
So I memorized the whole Shurangama mantra and recite the whole thing, but I'm wondering, should I do the whole thing or I just partially divide and recite?
You should recite the whole thing. You see, I think in Korea, they teach them to recite the whole mantra. That's a way to do that. And usually, they should also have taught them to set up a proper platform. Okay? Because when you practice these Dharma doors, like in my prior answer to the other question, can I recite the Sirang Dobo Dala anywhere? You cannot recite it anywhere. Shanga mantra is very specific. So you need to set up a platform and so that you get the proper protection to recite it. Okay, that's a proper practice. And then once you set up the platform, you can also go into the short version as well. Okay, that's what I learned. Because it's too long. The mantra itself is too long. And can you imagine that when you, in the future, when you have a need, urgent need, do you have time to recite the entire mantra? You don't. So you have to use a short version when applicable, or use their specific tools they have, which is not transmitted to Korea. All right. So her practice, the way she talked about, is actually has a lot of holes in it. Okay, it's a rather difficult situation. They're taught to, because of Master Sutro's preferences, he went after the Hua-to. The Korean system is after the Hua-to and Shranga mantra. And it turns out that when you go to the Shranga mantra, you do not, like Master XZ said, you do not want to practice on your own. It's too dangerous. You will be stopped and you'll be wasting your time. Okay, number one. You do the Hua-to, same thing. The Hua-to is rather slow, but you also need protection from someone who understands. Okay, because if not, they will derail them very easily. Okay, and Hwato, this is a problem with the Koreans. They practice Hwato. Many of them practice Hwato, whether it's monks and nuns, Sunims, or lay people. They don't get anywhere because they get derailed and they don't realize it. Okay, you see, that's my aversion, my dislike the Hwato is that it's just a lot of issues you have, and it's not something I say you can simply take a Hwato and practice it. It's a lot more involved than that. Okay, and then you spend years doing it without building the proper foundation. What I do for you is I teach you Chan first to help you build a foundation and lay the groundwork for you to continue to make it stronger and stronger of a foundation for you to make progress. The Hwato implicitly has its weakness that you all should know. The Hwato requires you to have a lot of blessings immediately. Okay? So unless you have a lot of prior blessings, you cannot practice Hwato. This is why the Koreans nowadays don't get anywhere in the Hwato. In her generation as well as a future generation, I will predict to you that Hwato will disappear in Korea. Okay? And so you have a lot of Hwato, you need a lot of blessings, and when you get a little bit higher, you need some help and some protection. And the Shranga mantra is extremely dangerous. That's why they don't have the instructions to practice the Shranga mantra properly. So I know some people who are taught by Master Sung Cho. I look at the way they practice, I realize that they are not making much progress. They get stuck. Okay, they get to somewhere where eventually they get stuck, and that's they don't realize that they lack the foundation. Okay. All right. DDT. Go back to DDT.
일단 첫 번째는 질문이고 두 번째는 마스터께서 화두를 말씀하셔서 제가자로서 제가 경험했던 화두 수행과 능엄주에 대해서 조금 참고하시라고 말씀드리고 싶어요.
So first one is a question, and second one is I also practiced Hwado as a lay person, so I want to share my experiences as a lay person practicing Hwado.
일단 첫 번째 질문은 이거 가지고도 좀 의견이 사람들마다 있었는데 영화 스님께서 전에 법문에서 능엄주는 사찰과 집에서 하라고 하셨는데 저는 어떤 의견이냐면 여기서 말하는 사찰이란 영화 스님 도량을 의미하는 것 같거든요. 그런데 이게 일반 아무 절이다 가능한 건지 아니면 영화 스님 도량만 말하는 건지 사람들의 의견이 좀 갈려서 질문 드리게 됐습니다.
So my first question is, people have diverse opinions on this. So Master told us that we should recite Shurangama mantra in temples or in our houses. And my opinions, by you meaning the temple, meaning Master YongHua's temple. But people has a divided opinion about temple. So is it your temple or any other temples too?
Okay. I also want to say, too, just my personal opinion. My master, too, Master YongHua, when he started teaching Chan, he also taught Hwato, and it confused me. I don't like it. So that's why now I take a stand very quickly, very early. I said, I don't teach you Hwato. Okay? Because he never explained to his disciples, my generation, that in order to practice Hwato, you need to have a lot of blessings. Without the blessings, you cannot go anywhere. You spend years, you can go nowhere at all. So the rule of thumb for the Chinese instruction is that you practice Huatou for 3 years. If you get nowhere, then abandon, switch. You don't do it your entire life, okay? So it's predicated upon you making some progress, some significant progress for the first 3 years. So that's why, so I do fault Master Xinhua in not giving us the proper instructions of Huatou. And that's why I take a stand. I say, I don't teach you Huatou. You want to learn Huatou, go to Master Xinhua. And I'm warning you, even if you go to Master Xinhua, he's a patriarch, he understands Huatou, but his Huatou instructions are not that good. This is my personal opinion, that's all, okay? It's not how you teach Huatou at all. I was confused by his instructions. Okay. And what about the question that Jumi has about the Shranga mantra, that is, go to the proper temples? It's about you, depending on your level. If you go to at home, then you really don't have a whole lot of protection. But you go to a temple, then what it means is that you depend on the protection from a temple. So it doesn't matter. You can go to my temple, you can go to the 3 big temples in Korea, you can go to temples in China and so forth, okay, you can go to Master Xinhua's temples, some of his temples, then you get better protection because their levels are higher than you. That's all. So you want to take advantage of it so that you get some help from someone who's further along than you are. Okay? Yes, go first.
Emitofuo Master, I think Yumi, she has also a comment.
Yeah.
So should she go first?
제가 안 해도 될 것 같아요. 마스터께서 골드포레스트 하셨으니까 하시면 될 것 같습니다.
No, it's okay. We go first. You can go.
Okay, Emitofuo Master. So my question is, when I am meditating, I recite Emitofuo. So, and then during my daily life, I also try to recite. So is it better to recite Emitofuo as well, or it doesn't matter if I recite just Ryuru, like for example, or one Yi Simpusa?
You should can recite the Buddha's name depending on who you are. If you are older, I highly recommend that you recite the Amitabha Buddha's name. If you are younger, then you could recite Wan Yin's name, or you could recite Medicine Master Buddha's name. So it depends on your preferences. I would do all 3. So, for example, you come to a way place and they have this Pure Land Dharma assembly, then recite the Buddha's name. You have a Wan Yin assembly, recite Wan Yin's name. Don't just say that because I only specialize in reciting the Buddha's name, I don't go and recite Wan Yin's name. It would be which is a major mistake. Okay, number 1. Number 2 is I forgot what is the context of the question.
Yeah, so what I say is, like, if it's better to recite the same Buddha's name during the day than recite while I'm meditating.
Okay, okay, very good. So you could do just specialize in one Buddha's name as well. Okay, but I prefer you to learn more tools than just one. Okay, And so when your skills are much higher, then you can choose. If you ask me right now, I can tell that your level is not that high, and therefore you should be reciting many, many names. Okay? Don't worry. If you focus on one particular Buddhist name, it's not going to be making that much difference than reciting the other names as well. All right? Go first.
Sorry, I forgot to turn off the camera.
That's it? Okay, very good. Anything else here? Okay, now we are back to slide 314. The Master YongHua said, if you don't understand worldly Dharma, then you cannot understand Transcendental Dharma. I happen to disagree, okay? You don't have to worry about understanding worldly Dharma yet. Okay, there's no need. Because in the training of Buddhism, this is why I differ from him in terms of training. In the Mahayana training for us, we don't want you to try to understand worldly Dharma yet until after you become enlightened. I don't want you to be distracted or get in trouble, because the worldly Dharma is very alluring, very easy for you to get lost. And especially, how do you get lost? One thing that people get lost in is that, for example, the Buddhists and the Sunnims and the monks and nuns, they have a PhD, and they go and get a degree in buddhology and get a diploma. That is worldly Dharma. And they come back with a big nose, thinking they're special, thinking they're experts. They're not. Your professors are not experts in buddhology. We are. With utmost humility, let me tell you. Unless you become enlightened, you cannot understand the Buddha Dharma at all. Doesn't matter how many sutras you read, doesn't matter how many diplomas you have, you don't understand, okay? You don't have the depth of knowledge. You simply know words, and your translations suck. They're terrible. All the scholar translation, from Sanskrit into English, from Chinese into English, or Pali into English, okay? If they are professors, all the translations suck. So dump them in a garbage can, unless I give you one. Keep it simple, okay? Don't waste your time. It's a waste of time to me. If I had a choice, I would do away with all the PhDs in buddhology. Oh, idiots. There you go. Luckily for me, professors are stupid, both stupid and poor, so it doesn't affect my donations when I offend them. Okay? We don't beat around the bush. You are a professor, you disagree with me, I'd be glad to debate with you. You see how much depth you have. I'm warning you. I'm very scary. I destroy you when I debate with you. You're not that smart. You're not that fast. Okay? Because yours is about intellect. I'm about kung fu. Okay? In Buddhism, when we debate, it's not like the Tibetans or the Indians. When we debate, when I debate, I destroy you. I'm warning you. Be prepared to be destroyed. You want to debate me? Hello. It's a challenge, it's an open challenge. Okay? All right. You don't need to understand worldly Dharma, and I am against this. There's some things Master YongHua says, it's so typical of the Chinese. That's why they're so confused, okay? And they think they understand, but they don't. You're better off understanding Transcendental or Buddha Dharma first. When you understand the depth of the Buddha Dharma, then you understand the depth of the worldly Dharma. If you understand worldly Dharma first, you'll be lost. The sequence is wrong. Okay, so wrong. And it's okay. Whatever they do is none of our business. But you don't want I want you to understand it so that when you see people coming to you with their credentials, you see the order, the chronology. Did you learn chant? Did you learn all these things? And then you learn, and you get a PhD. I have no problem with that. Okay, those people are okay. It's still stupid. If after you become enlightened, why would you need anyone to give you a certificate that says you understand buddhology when they're a bunch of idiots? Seriously. It's insulting to me as a monk that I need to depend on someone to certify me as a PhD worthy of such prestigious institutions which don't understand buddhology at all, Buddhism at all. It's so insulting to me, okay, to the sangha. That's why I don't understand why Master YongHua will allow his enlightened people to get a PhD. Why do we need to be accepted by them? I don't get it. We don't have to be accepted by idiots. Idiots will always be idiots. I don't care if you accept me or not. If you're an idiot, whatever you do is fine with me. That's why do I need you to accept me? Accept me, don't accept me, criticize me, debate me, it's up to you. I don't care. Okay? Nonsense. No. So, no, you don't have to understand worldly Dharma. I'd like you to understand Buddha Dharma first. And then, when it's time, I will ask you to learn about worldly Dharma, but not this order, okay? Number 315. It's just like when you lecture in sutras and speak Dharma, you lecture in sutras, speak Dharma, you do not understand the issues of our society. It's true. It's true that when you lecture and speak the Dharma, you should understand the issues, okay? It's not so much you must understand. To me, it's an attitude. When I lecture to you and I talk to you every night like this for the last forever. Every night, here we go again. My attitude is I'm learning. I'm going out on a limb to tell you that I don't like to teach Huatou. I don't have much respect for the professors in buddhology, professors in philosophy, because I'm putting out a challenge to them. I want them to teach me. I want them to be offended. I want people to say, why don't you use Theravada? It's because Theravada is wrong. It's Hinayana Theravada, idiot. Okay? So I'm learning. That's my attitude. So it's not about, when you speak sutras and speak Dharma, it's not about the fact you understand, you know everything. No. When I speak Dharma to you personally, I understand a little bit of the Buddha Dharma. Yes, but I have a bigger mouth. So I speak more than I'm supposed to. I say a lot more than I'm supposed to. Okay? But in doing so, I go out on a limb so that you criticize me, you get offended, so that I learn from you where I'm wrong. Because otherwise, how do I know I'm wrong? Someone has to tell me. Right? And that's what I mean by here. You don't simply say, I learn from, you need to understand the issues of society. No, it's a give and take thing. I talk to you and I understand more about tacos and the quesadillas. The quesadillas, by the way, is when you put cheese in there. So Taco Bell, taco is really not a taco, but actually a quesadilla. According to what I learned, okay? So you see, I'm learning. It's kind of fun. That's my fun too. I'm learning. Okay, we're all learning from each other. And that's the attitude. Don't think that I know everything about the Buddha Dharma. I hope. I know I don't know a whole lot. I hope the people will come and criticize me. No, you don't understand this teaching, Avatamsaka Sutra. No, you don't understand about chant. I'd love to hear it. Okay? Because I'm learning. So, speaking sutra, speaking dharma is a give and take. It's not one way at all for me. You don't have to pretend to be the expert. I know a little bit. I'm sharing it with you. Okay? It's a mutual learning process. It's for real. It's not BS where I say, I don't know anything, so if I'm stupid, so be it. No. Tell me I'm stupid, and let's debate it, let's discuss it, so that I would learn from it. Yes, sir. 7.
Thank you, Master. Thank you so much for taking your position. I'm just curious, imagining a scenario in which a professor or professors learn about your challenge. 2 questions. Number 1, are there any specific topics you'd want to debate them on? And number 2, where would you want to have said debate?
Public place where we both safe. Okay, like a gas station, well-lit gas station, coffee shop. I don't care. Okay. Neutral territory. Okay, yeah. And what topic, whatever they want to discuss, whatever their specialty is. Anyone else? All right. So you see, this is theory. To me, I'm very specific. You cannot tell me I need to understand the issues of society because I don't. Look at my face. Do I look like someone who understands American culture? Why you have this snorting thing? Do I sound like I understand Vietnamese culture? Hong in the back. Oh, God.
Master, Jim, marital husband, once told me that Master understands American culture more than a typical American.
I understand more my American culture than the loyal fan base of Donald.
No, he say you are more American than a typical American.
More than a typical Donald fanboy. Okay, and they don't have to feel threatened. I only have a master's degree. I don't even have a PhD. Okay. Come and debate me about you anytime you feel like. Okay. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Okay, issues are sorry. So you cannot speak on the issues of our society. No, it's not speaking. It's about bringing it up and let's talk it together. Okay, and let's learn. Okay. It will be very dry. No one will like listening to it. Yeah, I suppose. Yes, go for it.
Emitofuo Master. So I have another follow-up question. So in my case, since normally I'm not able to get single-minded, is it better if I just recite the Buddha's name, or should I also practice mantras?
For you, you can do either one that turns you on. Sometimes the Buddha's names is easier for you, especially when it's a noisy environment. You can go back to the Buddha's name. Okay, when you're in a dark place where you feel like uncomfortable, go back to the Buddha's name. Okay, and of course for the mantras, it depends on which mantra you like to recite. But I would stick to the Buddha's name for now. Okay, and specific mantras if that's the case. Next.
Thank you, Master.
JC.
네, 안녕하세요. 입초 이승훈입니다. 아미타불 마스터. 지금 단식 5일차인데 더 할지 말지 여쭙고 싶고 단식은 왜 하는지 궁금합니다.
Hello, Master. This is Ipcho Lee Sung-hoon. Thank you, Master. I'm on the 5th day of fasting, and I want to know, should I do more or stop? And I also have a question, why do we do the fasting?
You can do 2 more days, okay? Suffer a little bit more. Suffer all your naughty things. Repent for all the naughty things you did. And are doing. Okay, and then if you still feel guilty about it, do 9 days. Okay, and what's the second question?
Yes, Master. Thank you.
What's the second?
The second question was, why do we do fasting?
I thought I answered it already. To repent for your naughty things. To suffer. To suffer in a way that doesn't make sense to you. Okay? There's a magic in there. When you look at the people who did it before you, look, they seem normal. Okay, but when you do fasting, it's a lot of suffering, and in that suffering process, it helps you a lot, physically and mentally. All right, it's part of the training for our people. Okay, anyone else? Okay, so 317, Master YongHua says, when you speak Dharma, and you understand the worldly Dharma, and you speak the Dharma, you find it reasonable and touches the heart of each person. No, I don't want you to even worry about it. Okay? Yeah, I don't want you to worry about touching people's hearts. Please. It's a private thing. If I hear that you, a monk, speaking to me and trying to touch my heart, I say, excuse me? Okay? Please, it's very private. My heart is very private. I do not want anyone to touch it. Okay? Especially when you speak Dharma to me. Okay? Or when I speak Dharma, I do not try to touch your heart. I guarantee you. Okay? All 300 of you out there have no fear. I'm not like Master YongHua. I'm hoping, aiming to touch your heart. I ain't. Okay? That's the difference in Chinese speaking and American speaking. All right. All I'm trying to do, okay, when I speak Dharma, is that I'm trying to repeat to you the words of wisdom of our patriarchs. So my personal struggle is to make sure the things I tell you are consistent with my teacher's teachings. And don't worry, Master Shenhua is not the only teacher I have. That's my luxury. Okay? I learn from him a lot. I adore him. I idolize him. But I also have other teachers. So whatever I tell you has to be consistent with my teacher's teachings. Okay? And if it's not the case, I respectfully ask them to take me out of action. Okay? I have my quirks, I have my flaws, but if I say something that's wrong, please don't make me go and fast. That's all I ask. It's too much suffering for me. I'm too old to suffer like you young people. Okay? So there are boundaries where I will not cross. Okay? And so my challenge is that whatever I do every single night is to make sure that I go out on a limb but not contradict what I understood from all my teachers. Okay? All right. Making every person feel with joy upon hearing it, experiencing great happiness. In this way, people will want to listen to the sutra lectures. No. Boy. This is not good. Tonight is a tough night. One of those nights where you wish that you would be somewhere else. Like have some Guinness. You like that too? Such a lonely life. I'm supposed to deliver and perform, but I cannot take it easy. No! Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. I wanted to share something I've experienced with you pretty recently. And I show up every night because you are lecturing. So thank you so much for all the effort that you put forward. As you know, I've struggled a lot with sitting and suffered a lot of setbacks over the years. But I just wanted to express my sincere gratitude to Venerable XS, who showed me some new approaches to trying to not have as many obstructions. And so the fourth day today, I'm sitting in this new posture, which feels a lot more athletic and the fort being built.
Athletic Chan, I love it. Okay. New field, Xian Shun, pioneered by Xian Shun.
But to share with you, not even 3 minutes ago, as I'm sitting and I kind of just blew some air out of my ears, I'm suddenly hearing sounds much clearer. The bass in my ears is like restored from, 10 years ago. I can hear things a lot clearer.
How long have you been married?
It's interesting, Master. I got married around 9 years ago.
9 years ago. Really? That long?
I know.
Wow. Time flies. No? Come on, Sarah. Yeah. Correct him. No way, it cannot be that long. The sister-in-law is checking.
It'll be 9 years in November. So, yeah, it's been 8.5 or almost 8.5 years. Yeah.
Well, we give you 9. Anything over 8.5, we round up.
But it's. I wanted to tell you, it's pretty profound. Like my ears really just opened up.
Wow.
And I'm really seeing physical changes in my natural position posture too.
I see. Cool.
So I just wanted to share.
Okay, excellent. So there you go, folks. You heard it here tonight first at Wave Mountain Temple. American Chan also has athletic Dharmador. And since you're not Chinese, you don't understand the Chinese pronunciation. The expert here is XS. Contact her, okay? Don't contact XS2. XS2 is not an expert. Yes, 5.
So Venerable XS will be the coach for the athletic department.
Yes.
W.H. Chan.
That branch of American Chan, Athletic American Chan, AAC.
You know, and for those of you who have never met Venerable XS or myself in person, she isn't the archetype of who I thought I'd be addressing as coach. But I must say, she is the best coach for sitting that I've experienced. So.
Wow, yeah, okay. Applause, 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 applause. Okay, too late. Yeah, too late. Miss a golden moment. Okay, very good. Yeah, thank you for sharing with us. Of course, by all means, share your experience. That's great. Maybe even do a Dharma glimpse. Athletic American chant. Okay, so back to 318. Everyone is filled with joy upon hearing it. They're feeling great happiness. We listen to sutra lectures. No, I want you to listen because part of my challenge is to make it relevant to you while helping you enter samadhi. Okay? And so to me, this is part of the sudden teaching. Okay? So it's not so much about you experiencing great happiness and so forth. It will come naturally. It's never a rule. Okay? And so I think this is for him to teach the newcomers. He would talk like this. We don't talk like this. Okay? And listening to sutra lectures, it's up to you. I'm not trying to make you want to listen to sutra lectures. Again, I don't care. If you don't understand worldly dharma, speak exclusively of transcendental dharma, saying, oh, you must cultivate, you must practice ascetic practices. You don't truly help them understand the principles behind this ascetic practice on their own, and yet you force them to come and do it so that you won't be able to. Okay? No, I look at transcendental dharmas because I combine them. If you see the context is that the Buddha Dharma is in the world, and therefore the worldly Dharma has transcendental dharmas, and transcendental dharmas also has worldly Dharma. That's the bottom line. Okay? So there's no need to separate the two at all, to me. Okay? But I differentiate for your sakes, but to me, it's the same. Okay? And so how do you reconcile the differences? The differences is not that important to you. All I care about is that if you practice worldly Dharma, that's a Tibetan meditation, mantra and so forth, okay, which I feel, that's primarily worldly Dharmas because they're selling that process. I don't like it. But if you do that, okay, as long as it benefits, it's beneficial to you, it's good enough. Okay? It won't take you very far, but as long as you find it beneficial, it's still better than going out there and try to steal from someone or hurt someone and so forth. So when you practice these things with the proper mindset, where you practice it in order to gain wisdom, okay? That's the main thing. I don't care where you go. This Sunim here is visiting us, and she comes to us, and people told her that, she should come here and check it out. The one thing I want her to learn is that the purpose of what we do here with all of you, whether it's here physically here or in Korea or people online, the same thing. I want you to open your wisdom, okay, and become a good person. That's the bottom line, okay? And so if you do with worldly dharmas or Theravada dharmas or Hinayana dharmas or Mahayana dharmas, to me it's all good, okay? It's all good. But I want you, for second part, is keep improving. Do not get stuck. That's what most teachers don't tell you. They tell you that I'm the greatest. And that's one thing too, I find fault in Master Hsuan teachings, because in my generation, we all idolize him. We all do. He's a fantastic of a man. I've never met anyone like him. I doubt I'll ever be able to meet anyone like him for the rest of my life. Okay? So it's a great blessings for me to spend that kind of blessings on meeting him, on shaving my head, on learning from him. Okay? But he's not the Buddha. So certain things he taught us, my generation, to me, could be improved. Okay? I tell you that. I'm no patriarch. I look disdainfully upon many patriarchs, except for Master Hsuan. Okay? That's my personal position. Okay? And so what he failed to do for my generation is that he made himself to be such a humongous role model that we feel that that's enough for me. I will never find anyone like him anymore. That's true. But he should have said, I want you to continue to look for a teacher. It doesn't have to be bigger than me. You can learn from everyone. I learned from the demons. I would not want to do the things they do, so I want to learn their tricks. You see? So that attitude, that's what I want you to have. That is, you should learn from Master Hsuan. Don't bother with this current one and so forth, okay? Don't waste time. You learn from me, learn from whoever, okay? Patriarch and so forth. But I want you to continue to learn and learn and learn and learn. And always look for a good, knowing advisor. That is our spirit. Always. I'm always looking for one. Personally, I never stopped. Every day I looked, I say, not a good knowing advisor. Not that one either. I never stopped. Okay? That's how you improve. I want you to have that attitude where I want to be a better person. I want to be a Gouda person. Gouda, the one who eats Gouda cheese. Yeah? Okay. Yes, did you have something to say, Five?
Thank you, Master. I was thinking about our upcoming relics exhibit and how we'll have people who will be coming. I know both WMT and DTT were both very eager to introduce the relics to a lot of people. Perhaps people who are going to be from different temples, or maybe they're going to be groups who practice meditation. They may not be practicing the way we practice. And I was just wanting to ask your opinion about when people come to the temple, do we allow them to practice the way they feel comfortable practicing? Do we show them how we practice? What's your take on that?
We don't show anything. They have to do something to be worthy to be shown. Why do you have to show anything? Seriously, I'm not the teacher. We don't have to help them. It's Master Hsuan job to help them. It's not my job to help everyone. I only help people I like. Life is so much simpler for me. I don't need to help everyone. Okay? Yes, JMT.
네, 하두는 느리고 능엄주는 위험하다면 어떤 법이 빠르고 바로 갈 수 있는지 말씀해 주십시오.
You said Hwado is too slow and Shurangama mantra is too dangerous. Then what Dharma door is fast and safe?
Your good no advisor will tell you. Okay? There are a lot of enlightened Sunims there. I hope I don't think the Sunims, the male Sunims, are teaching the nuns. So you're not in luck. Okay? For some reason, very typical of my master's side as well, they don't train the nuns. Okay? And to me, it's not very wise. Why not? Look around you. How many nuns there are compared to how many monks? And so for us not to train the nuns would be to ignore and underutilize one of the biggest assets we have. Okay? So to me it's a shame because even my master, they don't train the nuns either. Okay? It's too bad. The good no advisors are supposed to train everyone without any discrimination. Except for me, I'm not really a good no advisor. That's why I only train people I like. Okay? That's be real. Okay? I'm no good no advisor. I'm too judgmental. And look at you. I don't like you. Next. See, that's why after 18 years, we only have 300 people tuning in every night. We should have 30,000 people, okay, Peter? But with my big mouth and my offending everyone left and right, I don't have a lot of people. Yes, JMT.
없어요. 저는 너무 어리석어서 선지식을 알아볼 수가 없습니다. 좀 가르쳐 주십시오.
I'm too stupid, so I could not recognize good knowing advisor. So please tell me.
I don't know. In Korea, I haven't met a nun who's at least first ground yet. I saw a lot of nuns. I saw a few nuns who are fourth stage, but they cannot teach you. Okay, fourth stage Arhat don't know how to teach. And so the Korean nuns are in trouble, unfortunately. For example, talking about someone specific, Daeji Sunim has been around for how many years now? 10 years now? As fully ordained, okay? And practicing even more, longer than that. And before she was going from temple to temple and temple, trying to pick up this, pick up that, and pick up a few things from me as well. And then I looked at her, and I saw her for when I first saw her, something like a year before she became interested in us. And I saw that she went to all these temples that have good teachers, but no one really training her at all. Okay, and as a result, in Mahayana, unless you have a good no advisor, which is the case right now in my master's temples, unless you have a good no advisor, you will not make progress. Okay, and so I don't know. In Korea, I really don't know where you're going to find a sunim who can train you. The enlightened sunims are on the men's side, okay, and they don't teach women, so you don't have many choices. And in Taiwan, there's a disciple of Master YongHua who's a nun who's enlightened, but her skill is not high enough to teach you. When you go to the US, there's some nuns here who are higher levels, but like your Korean sunims, they don't know how to train nuns. That's why the third generation, the Chin generation, is really zilch. Okay, so it's a dead end. So it's tough for the nuns right now. Very, very tough. And when you hear this, it's not a criticism. When you hear this, I want you, monks and nuns, to challenge yourself. You have to get to a level where you are deemed worthy to be trained how to be a good no advisor. Okay? And you have to be good enough to be trained. Clearly, it's a responsibility that you should take seriously. Okay? If you want Buddhism to continue to grow in your generation, it's your responsibility, because you, as a monk and nun, owe it to your supporters to help them. By what? By becoming a better person every day. Get better and better and better so that you can find better ways to repay the support from your followers. And one of the biggest way for you to repay them back is the Pure Land Dharma door. So those of them who cannot practice Hua-To, you cannot practice mantras, you cannot practice Pure Land, you have to find a way to help them go to the Pure Land. It's your responsibility. My master never taught my generation that. Okay? And of those who have the potential, you have to train them to become enlightened so that they can take care of themselves. All right? So I understand her dilemma, but I don't know how to help her. I don't know of any good solution for her at all. Okay? Right now. Unfortunately. I'm sorry. All right. The aim is, in regards to worldly dharma, the aim is to make everyone happy, not to everyone angry. No. You don't want to make them angry. Let me give you an example. You don't want to make them angry, I agree with that. The Koreans wouldn't understand what I'm talking about. Koreans are, okay, we get along, okay? But you don't want, it's not about getting angry, it's about getting afflicted. If you're angry, if you're greedy, okay, then you make people greedy, okay, then you are not helping at all. So the purpose of speaking a Dharma, folks, as a monk and nun, is to not make people greedy, okay? I talk to you and say things to encourage you to improve yourself and understand that you can be much better than you are right now. Much better, okay? You can. So there's a little bit of worldly Dharma there, but it's not for the sake of selling my temple and getting more money and support out of you. It's about you, okay? So that greed there is for yourself to be a better person, okay? And yes, as far as anger goes, I do want you to get angry at me sometimes. Not too often, but sometimes you should get angry at me, okay? And to keep me in my place, okay? I don't want to feel just every night sitting up here and people look at me, oh, that's the master. Oh, he's my idol. I'm not. Come on, leave me alone. Okay. And so it's annoying to me that I do on purpose make you angry. Sometimes I slap people. Did you hear that? See, people ignore me. Okay, and so and when you make people angry, then no one will be able to accept it. You don't have to accept what I'm telling you. I give up trying to make you accept it. I give up, okay? I just want you to hear the good things, and maybe someday you understand, but you don't have to accept it. You don't have to understand right now, okay? I just want you to hear, that's all. So I do whatever it takes to make you hear it, whether it's Dharma glimpses, whether it's discord, whether it's inter-temple and so forth. It's all designed to make it available for you, that's all. And if you listen to it, I'm happy, okay? And whatever it takes to make you listen to it, I'm happy, okay? But you don't have to accept it. You don't have to understand. You, monks and nuns, don't have to understand the worldly Dharma. You should like to understand the worldly Dharma, but you don't have to understand it. You understand the difference? The worldly Dharma is very profound. You cannot understand it, let's face it. For you, as a monk and nun, to think that you can understand the worldly Dharma, you are setting yourself up for failure, let me tell you. Okay, where are we? We still here? Worldly Dharma, that's the end of it, isn't it? Huh? And ascetic practices, don't worry about ascetic practices. Yeah, it's okay. Anything we'd like to discuss tonight? No? No questions? Everyone happy? Everyone not angry? Everyone willing to accept it? Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. Just a quick reminder for our YouTube audience. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.
After all this?
Yeah. You betcha.
You like, and you're asking them to like that I insulted the professors. And many, many people tonight. Okay. You don't have to like it, but subscribe it. Okay, thank you everyone. We stop here tonight. Thank you all.